And what does all this mean for actual young people, real people with real voices? Just a few quotes here from young people that I've had the privilege of talking to or working with as we shaped our thinking in this. Max, who was a care experienced young adult, he was chairing a conference with me, and he said to a room full of social workers, he was thanking them. He was taken to care when he was 3 months old. And he was saying, "You did a really good job of keeping me safe. Thanks for that. I was in care all my life. You wrapped me up really tight and bubble wrap. But now I'm 19 and I kind of feel like I can't move my arms." And I think that's really profound. And what Max is kind of challenging us to reflect on there is that we did a great job of protecting him. We didn't do much to prepare him for adulthood. So there's something about how we consider the system goal of our care system is not simply to accommodate. It's not simply to physically protect people until they're 18, 21, 25, the state arrangements. It's to prepare them to become healthy, fulfilled, safe, functioning, contributing adults. Kelly is a young woman who is being supported by a sexual exploitation service in the north of the country. And as it happens, in Kelly's local authority, their sexual exploitation hub is hosted by adult social care and works with victim survivors from the age of 14 up. In my view, a very, very good model. And Kelly said to her worker, who passed this on to us, "I couldn't wait to get to 18. I thought once I was an adult, everything would change. Hasn't worked out that way. I wish I was a kid again so they could lock me up." And I find that really poignant because with the best will in the world, if a young adult equates safety with being incarcerated, I'm not sure we've got the safeguarding bit right. And Aisha, a gloriously articulate young woman who has been a real support in shaping our thinking around transitional safeguarding. And Aisha was describing something which really struck me. She talks about her needs. She knows herself very well. She talks about how lonely she gets, and she understands that her care experience is part of what's contributed to her loneliness. Aisha knows that if she was in her 70s, we would understand her loneliness as potentially a safeguarding issue, a well-being issue. Because she's not, she's in her 20s, no one talks about her loneliness as a safeguarding issue. Now, Aisha draws a very clear line between her care experience, her loneliness, and the fact that she is vulnerable to becoming ensnared and involved with men who frankly aren't very good for her or good to her. And then she said, and I think she's absolutely right on this, "But unless you're worried about my child, I won't hear from you lot again." She meant children's services. And she's got us bang to rights, of course. We spent huge amounts of time in her childhood worrying about the risks she faced, so much so that we took her into care. She's now telling us what risk she faces and how it's affecting her wider safety and indeed her child's safety. And we now only conceptualise her as being a risk to her child. So really think about how those voices, as well as the research literature, can shape our thinking.